Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Memorial Stadium for tonight's game. Big rivalry game at that between the Port Huron Northern Huskies and the Port Huron High Big Reds. It's the Super Bowl of Port Huron, so obviously myself, Derek Work, the Big D, very happy and excited to be broadcasting this one again from the great Memorial Stadium, where a capacity crowd is sitting here, and a great marching band out there, the Big Red Marching Band out there right now doing their thing as well. Well, first and foremost, when you look at this game tonight, you look at what both programs have lost. Tyler Thomas, great QB for Northern. They lost him to graduation, but they're filling in with a very good one in their own right with Mark Perez, athletic player, and he should fill in nicely. Well, the Jordan Galanos and, of course, Chris Taddy combination of last year, no one can replace great Chris Taddy. But they're going to try and do that with Mark Titus and our first look at the quarterback, Justin Black, and I think so far they've been putting up 37-plus points a game. They should do that just fine as well in their own right. On paper, this looks to be a great matchup, a great defense in Port Huron Northern and a great offense in the Port Huron High Big Red, so something's got to give here, and we'll see what does indeed give. Well, the winner of tonight's game as well takes home the Brick Fowler Trophy. So far, it's been in the hands of Ryan Mullins for most of his career, if not all of his career. Short-lived, of course, so far here at PH. Port Huron Northern would like nothing more than to take this trophy back and put it on their mantle that Ryan Mullins has right now once again. Well, it's going to be a close game. I expect a close game anyway. For Northern, though, they've got to have it a close game. It's got to be like a 10-7 final. It's got to be 14-13. Big Reds on the other side, no. They want to blow them out. They want to do whatever they can as comfortably on offense as they possibly can manage. So there you have it. Great defense on the Northern side, great offense on the PH side. Something's got to give, and I can't wait for it. The rivalry game, PHN, coming up next. Derek Work, the Big D, PHHS, Channel 6. The great defensive lineman Bob Golick once said this about playing football. If you're mad at your kid, you either raise him to be a nose tackle or you send him out to play on the freeway. It's about the same. Well, Bob, not quite. But again, it certainly gives you an idea about just how physical this game called football can indeed be. And tonight, I have no doubt it'll be very physical, as rivalry games always are. Tonight, it's the Big Reds, it's the Huskies, it's Port Huron's #1 varsity rival in its #1 varsity rivalry sport. Are you ready, Port Huron? It's time to make one team very happy and the other very upset for one game for yet another year. It's the Super Bowl of Port Huron, so fans of the Huskies, fans of the Big Reds, I urge you, let's get nasty. Good evening, everyone. Derek Work, the Big D, live from Memorial Stadium once again. Actually, the rebroadcast here of the big Super Bowl of Port Huron, the rivalry game, PHHS, Channel 6. If I sound pumped up, that's because I am. Right at kickoff, just about ready to go. Big Red's going to kick to the Huskies, and let's get nasty again. Port Huron. This is Otis Freeman taking the ball at the 20-yard line. Behind some blockers, tries to cut upfield, quickly does. 25-30, look out, 35, up 40 and down close to the 45-yard line of the Huskies. This is an offense that relies on ball control and time of possession. They need big plays from their special teams. There's one early as Otis Freeman comes up to about the 45-yard line. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Port Huron Northern Huskies. And speaking of those Huskies, they are currently 1-1. Of course, a 30-10 loss last week to the Sterling Heights Stallions. They have not made the postseason since 1999. That's right, a 10-year drought. Here you see the replay of that run back, and great cutback there, stiff-armed his way and then lowered his head to the 45. 1st and 10 for the Huskies from there. It's up, it's down, a fumble early. I think the Big Reds have it. They've jumped on it early. I said just what the Huskies needed. The great kick return right back in their faces. The Big Reds get a break and they jump right on it at the 50, dead on. So now comes out very quickly the Port Huron High offense. I said earlier, a great defense versus a great offense. Something's got to give, and we'll see what does give. This offense has scored almost 38 points per game thus far and is the big reason why this team is 2-0. Big 34-27 overtime victory versus Fraser Ramblers last week in Fraser. 1st and 10 from midfield exactly. Titus the carry up the 50, down to about the 44-45 yard line of the Huskies. 77 Teddy Dooley On the tackle, I like to call him the wild man for Northern because he certainly plays like it at times. Well, Port Huron lines up 4 seniors and a junior on the offensive line. 67 Wilcox up there, he leads the way. Guards Glenn Hartman, 57. Rich Mirendorf, 51. Tackles Joe Randolph, 66. And 77 Calvin Chapman. We'll talk about the rest of that offense in just a minute. But before that, 2nd and 5 from the Husky 45. Low snap. Bobbles the ball, late pressure Huskies, and they're going to down them with a quarterback sack way back at the 40. That's what I'm talking about. This Husky defense has to make big plays for them to win. So far, so good. Tyler Corrigan, a big one. And all that kid does is make big plays. We've seen him the last couple of weeks. Time snap counts almost perfectly. Here you see the replay. Corrigan comes up the middle, basically untouched. They just left him. Missed assignment or whatever, but Tyler Corrigan, the big sack there, and now the big offense of the Big Reds has their work cut out for them. Black standing at his 40, back to pass, 4 wide out look, 1 back, he's blocking. Way deep to the outside, they jump up, it's a battle for the jump up. Otis Freeman, great defensive play, and the Huskies have held, and the Big Reds are going to have to punt. Intended receiver, Mitchell Petoskey. That shows you what a sack can do at a crucial moment. But again, Tyler Corrigan, that's a name we're going to remember definitely as this season continues. He has looked terrific as a linebacker on defense thus far in the first 2 weeks, and certainly that loss last week had nothing to do with Corrigan and the way this defense of the Huskies played. 10:19 to go in the first. Both teams have held. Here's the punt. High punt, wobbly kick. Gets a Husky bounce right at the 35 and 36. If you're a Husky fan, that's not too bad as they take over on downs now. Or coming off the punt anyway. And there's some fans who can't even get in for a seat. It's just too crowded. They're over there at the fence. That's what I'm talking about. They don't have enough seats for the amount of people that are at this game right now. Well, the offenses aren't on the field long enough for me to talk about them here, but we'll talk about the Husky offense here in just a moment. 1st and 10, first off. Option pitch. Outside and downed, but a good second effort. Might have actually got 4. Manis to the outside. Among tacklers over there, number 6, Jarrett Chapman for the Big Reds. And there you get an idea of what we're dealing with here today. People have to sit on the grass because there just aren't enough seats to hold the capacity here, the amount of people that want in. Again, this Port Huron Northern offense is an option offense run by number 5, Mark Perez, 20, Kenny Sanders, and Darian Hake. Number 30 are the tailbacks. Manis, who just made that carry, number 16, also 89, Tyler Smith, will get some looks. Immediate gives, straight up, and down. Looks to be a first down for the Huskies. Kenny Sanders on the carry. Well, they line up as well on the outside. A bit of a wild card, Alex Johns Moore out there. Very dangerous player, and he'll fly under the radar. Great punt return. Actually, it was a kickoff return 2 weeks ago. Really opened up the game, and really credit him with getting the game going, and crediting him for, in many ways, the win, because the Huskies 2 weeks ago did not have much offense. 14-7 winners over visiting St. Clair, but that was all they needed thanks to some great timely plays. And again, as mentioned, that kick return by Johns Moore. Macaulay Hill will also see the odd carry for Northern as they now have a first down. Again, this is what the Huskies want to do today. It's no big shock. They want to convert their third downs to get first downs to run the clock and keep this Port Huron High Big Reds defense, or offense, check that, on the bench. And that's easier said than done when you're scoring 37 plus points a week. And so far, this Big Red team has done just that. So we'll see how the Huskies operate now on first down. And the ball is on their own 45. Mark Perez looks to be audibling here, or changing the play at the last minute. Manis in motion. Here's the fake. Pitch to Manis this time. Option look. Good yardage. Got maybe 6 more. And that'll bring up second down as he finally crosses midfield And he's in Big Red territory now. 16 Manis again on the carry. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Well, the Huskies last week in a game where I thought they were overmatched basically from the get-go, but their defense kept them in it. Of course, I'm sure you've heard by now, 30-10 losers to an excellent Sterling Heights passing offense. But this Husky defense held them in check for much of that game, or at least as far as the first half goes. 1st and 5 now from the 45. Kenny Sanders' hard-nosed run inside the 40, battles his way to the 36 of the Huskies. Check that, the Big Reds. Again, for 2 quarters last week, Huskies controlled that football game, almost completely shut down Sterling Heights, and that's really easier said than done, trust me. That Sterling Heights team was very good. Nate Manis, a 55-yard run on the Huskies' first play from scrimmage last week. Carson Nowakowski, 26-yard field goal in that one, but that was it for Northern scoring. Biggest single stat of last week's game, though, was the passing yards. Sterling Heights 204, and much of that came again in the second half. Back to this one, though, straight up the middle run. They keep pushing him forward, got more yardage. Kenny Sanders again. And among the Big Reds making that tackle over there, number 50, Mike Lamming. But again, you talked the most important stat. 204 passing yards Sterling Heights last week. Just 16 for Northern and 3 interceptions. On the rush again, Manis 8 for 65, Perez 9 for 43. So we'll talk about the Big Reds and what they did last week in just a moment. But for now, Huskies still with the football. 2nd and 4 from the 30-yard line. Perez give to the fullback. All kinds of yardage here around right side. And another first down. Again, move the sticks as 35 on the carry. Josh Wolford, known mostly as a linebacker on the other side of the football, but gets the odd carry there, and he made the most of it to the right side. Huskies have certainly come out, and they look aggressive, despite that turnover on basically the first play of the game, first play from scrimmage. There you see the hole, and it was huge. And Wolford just went through it between guard and tackle on the right side. From the 16, 1st and 10, under 7 minutes to go in the first. Again, Derek Work, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6, from Memorial Stadium. There you see Mark Perez, ready to take this one. Immediate give again. No, instead it's a fake and a QB keeper. And Mark Perez on the carry, dives forward. Got maybe one. Good defense, Big Reds, 25, Matt LaForge. Well, last week the Big Reds, I guess it was a tremendous football game. They beat Fraser in Fraser. Thrilling overtime victory, 34-27. A risky 4th down play, a 2-yard touchdown pass from Black to Foster put the Big Reds ahead in overtime. And the defense held, and that was it. 2nd and 9 now from the 15 in this one. All kinds of open daylight. Inside the 5, forward, touchdown, Huskies. Darian Heck with blocking, and he got in. So far up front, you've got to give the edge to the Huskies the way there was open holes on that drive for much of the drive. And it makes you wonder, as Hake around left side had all that room and not many tacklers for the Big Reds, if maybe they need to just settle down at this point. Nowakowski with the extra point try, up and through. So 6:01 to go. Huskies have surprised everybody. They've come out on fire, and in the Battle of Port Huron so far, the edge goes to the Northern Huskies. 7-0. Derek Work, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Well, again, getting back to that game last week, the Big Reds again, I just said it, 34-27. Coming off that touchdown pass that they had in overtime last week to win the game. They then stopped Fraser on a 4th and 3, and that was it. Again, last week, Big Reds, 470 total yards in the game to 421 from Fraser. Scoring-wise, Justin Black, great last week. 18 for 36, 159, but he was big on the touchdown area. 4 touchdowns on the pass, 15 for 67, and another touchdown on the rush. Mark Titus as well, the backup, or replacement, I guess you could say, for the great Chris Taddy, 15 for 92 on the ground. So he's well on his way to being a great player in his own right and his tenure here at Port Huron High School. Should also mention another guy who had a good game there last week, Alex Smolik in Fraser, 7 for 107 in the air. Well, the Huskies about to kick back to the Big Reds, and this is exactly what they needed. A big drive, get 7 on the board, and then kick back. They need to control this game, but they need to control the time of possession. That is key. That is how they'll win the game. So far, they've done it, and big kudos to that Husky D. Coming off the turnover they held last time. Can they do it again? We'll see. 81 on the kick return. This is David Foster. He's got a lot of wheels, and he can go, and here he goes. 50, 45, 40. See you later, David Foster. Touchdown, Big Reds. This is what I'm talking about. When you have the skill players at the skill player positions, Big Reds have that. David Foster is tall, he's lanky, and he can flat out fly. And he did, he just took off. You give him open lanes and you ask for trouble. And he's basically their number one wideout, him and Sawyer across the way. So normally you'd look at things right now and you'd think, tie football game, Huskies have kept the Big Reds offense off the field, but if they're gonna keep allowing kick returns like that, it does not matter. Here's a replay, off the bounce. He took it about the 13, but here, once he gets going, there's just no stopping him. Avoids tackles, good blocks, and he's just running by guys. And there's even blockers with him. Nowakowski doing all he can there, but it's pure speed of Foster, just takes over, and he's through. What a big play for Port Huron when you consider all the momentum was to the Huskies after a very, very impressive drive. And so far, we've seen a lot in this game already, and if this is any indication of how this rivalry game is gonna go, buckle up, folks. Get your popcorn ready, to quote T.O. Get your popcorn ready. Again, pure speed and talent can make up for so much in this game. And that's a demonstration of it right there. Just when you're down and out, speed can even things up in a big, big hurry. So that has to be a concern now of Coach Casey Cusera over there on the northern sidelines, knowing the Huskies haven't tackled, and the Big Reds have done this already. On the kick return, let's get nasty again, Port Huron. At the 20, very quickly, Johns Moore cuts up field, 25, down 28, and eventually to the 29. Julian Brown for the Big Reds at 23 made the tackle. Well, just when I want to talk about an offense, they leave the field. Just when I want to talk about an offense on the other side, they leave the field. So it's a tough game to talk about some of the players in this game. Like I said, we've seen the Huskies the past 2 weeks. We haven't seen the Big Reds yet. This is my first one to see them. And that's one reason I don't like the rivalry game week 3. I like to see the team first before this big game. But them's the breaks. Perez right side, nothing. Lost yards among tacklers on the sack. Ashawn Butler. And you can give credit for the half sack to Mike LaForge as well. And that'll bring up second down and either 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure they credit him with a sack there. I think he lost about a half yard. There you see the student section. I was talking to you about that earlier. Fans with the PHN signs and the maze out over there. Second down and 10 now from the 29. They send the man in motion again. He gets the pitch, cuts upfield, gets behind blockers. Good yardage again, and down eventually out past the 30 to the 32. 3 Winslow Chapman among Big Red tacklers. That'll bring up third down. The Huskies and their option look right now is really moving the ball on the Big Reds. That's got to be a concern as well. And here you see it. Send the man in motion. They just give him the pitch. And the key is the blockers ahead of him. And look, he has it. He has the lanes. He's got 3 blockers and basically 2 Big Reds. And he just follows the blocking and gets good yardage. And here is a big, big play early going in this football game. 4:19 to go in the first. We're deadlocked, 7-7. Huskies and Big Reds. Ball is on the 37. It's 3rd down and 3. Again, the same play look. Play fake. Airing it out deep. Wide open, Tyler Smith. Adios, amigo. Touchdown, Huskies. Are you listening to me across the field? I said for the past 2 weeks, you've got to open up this offense. I'll eat my words. I'll do it. I love it. Play fake set up basically because of the look of the previous play. You send the man in motion who I believe was Tremaine Cootie. This time you fake that and then you go deep. The entire defense bought it. Extra point good. The Huskies are bringing out everything in this one. And they've got a 14-7. I'm the first to tell you I'm shocked. But I'm loving it because it's a great rivalry game so far. Great pass, Perez. Hit him on stride. And there you see 89 Tyler Smith galloping free, pointing up to the sky. Gotta love it. And I have no idea where that ball is. Is that on the roof? You know what, that might be on the roof because we have a guy tonight in a scissor lift doing the camera work, Justin Williams. And by the looks of things, I just looked over to my left and he is at the top of that scissor lift. He's at the extension. So he might have filmed the roof there. That might be a ball on the roof. Well, there you see a gentleman attempting to get the ball down, but he's empty-handed. He may need a bigger ladder. I don't know. Nobody down there to hold the ladder for him. I think that's what it was. Justin Williams earning his keep as a scissor lift camera operator. You gotta love it. All the cameras going on tonight for the rivalry game. CPHS Channel 6, Huskies a 14-7 lead. Here's Nowakowski kicking off again. And let's get nasty again, Port Huron. This one a touchback. Big Reds come back to try and answer the Husky call now. They're up 14-7 again with 4:03 to go in the first quarter. And that Big Red offense has not seen the field in a while. And it's pretty quiet over here on this side. This is just what the doctor ordered for the Huskies. You get a lead, you send your defense out with that lead. And when you're on offense, again, control the clock. Good thing Nowakowski kicked that ball out of the end zone. The way David Foster returned that first one, I don't know if I want to take my chances. Goodness gracious. 1st and 10 from the 20. 2 wide out look. Give off tackle going nowhere. Whew. 99 Solomon Love picked up Titus. Lost a lot of yards there. There you see one of the members, the U.S. Armed Forces here tonight. The anniversary of September 11th, falling right at rivalry game week, and I can't say enough what those people mean to all of us. Definitely heroes. And just because I live across the border doesn't mean they don't mean much to me. I'll tell you, they mean a lot. They really do. 2nd down and long, and they are just eating this alive. The Huskies have worked on a lot of things, and they are very aggressive right now, and they're winning the battle at the line. Yeah, living across the border, I still recognize what they do, even for Canada, for both countries. And my best to the U.S. Armed Forces always. They are the real heroes. There's no doubt about that. And I was happy to meet them down there by the van tonight. Always a pleasure, really. So all the best to them and good luck. 3rd down and 11 from shotgun. Plenty of time this time. Black I believe that's Sawyer. Close to the sticks, but I don't think he's got it. This is going to be real close. Ryan Mullins doesn't really like the mark. We'll see. He's standing right over there to look at this. And they do. They got it. First down. Between Sawyer and Foster, that was the big question coming into this season for the Big Reds. Two great wideouts. Actually, Sawyer's coming off limping. We hope that's just a cramp and nothing serious. But the big question was, do they have anybody that can get it to them? Because if you've got great wideouts, you can run all day. But if you don't get the passes to you, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you, this Justin Black, they really like what they've got in him. And 2-0, they won both games away. One in Fraser, one in East Detroit. Why wouldn't you like what this guy's got? And why wouldn't you like what those two guys have got? There you see, production galore. Ed Sinek, far side. Killer Kovac, near side. And he doesn't look like the kind of guy you'd say, there's Killer. But that's his nickname, so I'm not going to deny him the nickname. He doesn't deny me Big D, so I'm not denying him Killer. Here you see the replay of that last one. Well, low throw. Sawyer went to get it. There you see public address announcers too over there. I don't have their names and I apologize for that. They may not have my name. So I guess we're even. There you see the Husky band and the Husky faithful over there on the Port Huron northern side. Well, the Port Huron northern defense, again, they've played 6 great quarters of football. The last 2 they played, not so great, 23 unanswered points, but those first 6, man, were they dominant. Most of the time, a 5-2 alignment. Defensive tackles, 51, Axel Tidwell, Chad Patterson, 56, Calder Reno, 43. Teddy Dooley as well, 77, will line up on the line when you don't see him at linebacker, and he is a good one. Speaking of good ones, 35, Josh Wolford, senior linebacker. Junior Tyler Corrigan, 13. He's made the biggest play on defense thus far, and he'll time the snap counts as mentioned, and he'll come quickly. And there might not be a better seat in the house than at the back of that pickup truck right there. Boy, they look comfortable, don't they? From the 30, 1st and 10. Immediate give. Titus, good yardage. Has blockers. Look out. He could be gone. 35, 30, 25. Inside the 20, 15, 10. Down at the 9. Kendrick and Johns-Moore made a touchdown saving tackle, but it might not matter in the end. Mark Titus explodes. And he had the hole and he had the blockers, and the big red band, you see them, they love that. Yeah, 2 big holes and too many Huskies standing around there. And there you see pure speed. I mean, Nick Kendrick is not a slow guy. And Titus, well, eventually Kendrick caught him. It's not easy to outrun Nick Kendrick. Titus almost did. 1st and goal now from the 9. Minute 32 to go in the first. It's been a great one. On the rollout. Keeper Black, upfield, in. Touchdown, Big Reds. We have seen it all so far, and I love it, because most of the time these rivalry games have horrible weather. It's all just run, run, run. This one is wide open. We've seen everything so far, and you gotta love this Port Huron, no matter what side you're cheering for. Extra point try, high snap. They get it late, but it's down, and it's good. Nathan Babcock adds the touch-up, and it's 14-14. Here you see the play call. Titus there looking for anybody to block. He eventually does block a lineman, but it's too late. Perfect play call. No Huskies over there to take Justin Black, who had all day to decide to do what he wanted to do with it. And he's in. And that man right there, great big head on him, but he is Army strong. Yeah. On a night where we remember those who lost their lives September 11th, 2001, of course. And the armed forces were here too to honor those men and women, and they're more than proud to watch this great game so far. First quarter, 14-14. Battle of Port Huron. Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. Well, I'm going to read down the rest of that defense for Northern simply because I don't have time to ever do it. The two linebackers, Austin Pickering, 24-20, Kenny Sanders as well. Safeties, Nick Kendrick, 1, Alex Johnsmore, 2, and the cornerbacks are Mark Perez, number 5, and Otis Freeman, 23. To talk about the Big Reds and their offense, and I guess we'll leave that again for the next time they have the football, trying to catch up as we go here. There's been a lot of scoring, and a lot of scoring quickly when it's happened. But I'm not complaining. I love big scoring games. That's what you pay for. You can say you like a 10-9 game, and that's true smash mouth football. But the way football's going nowadays, I want 50-50. That's what I call a game. Let's get nasty again, Port Huron. Alex Johnsmore at the 17, drops the football, now he picks it up, but they jump on that right away. Number 2, Ron Monzo. So the Huskies come out again offensively, and they've got 2 touchdowns in this game so far. Here you see the replay, kick return. Johnsmore initially dropped the football, talking it over with Tyler Smith, and that's a time where you definitely want good communication. You cannot panic in that situation, or you're in deep trouble. From the 20, 1st and 10. Perez gets the snap, pitch out, cuts up field, not much. Good pursuit, 50, Mike Lamming and Nate Manis on the carry for the Huskies. They've run that play now probably 3 times. And it hasn't worked to that side. However, sending a man to the other side, the left side of the offense, that's created their biggest play of the game so far. Well, much of this first quarter has been dominated by the Huskies, strangely up front. That's the reason for some of these big runs that they've produced, and of course their big whopping pass play to make it 14-7 at that time. Final 33 seconds of the first quarter. Back again to pass, Perez outside, airing it out deep, wide open, but just overthrows intended receiver 16, Nate Manis again, and we have a flag on the far side, right side of the offense, and we'll see what this is all about. Big Red fans under me chanting, "Wake up, defense." And I guess so. They are shocked. I'm shocked too, but it's a good shock because I want a good close game here tonight. There you see strong athletic play by Perez. Just a little too far. That's one Manis would have had to really earn. Catchable, kind of. I think the penalty here is going to be against the Huskies, and I think they're going to decline it. It is against the Huskies, and they do decline it. That's smart because it gives them 3rd down, and an offense that runs the football, you want them to be faced with 3rd and long, without a doubt. Final 27 seconds now of the first quarter. 3rd down and 11 from the 20. Big Red showing blitz. Perez off play fake. Outside, just threw that one into the dirt, and incomplete. He had to rush because they were coming. Number 80, Flynn Murphy, the intended receiver. And the Huskies are going to have to punt. So finally, the Big Reds hold. And they're going to get good field position out of this as their reward for that. Mark Titus, and they're sending another returner back, Nick Johnson of the Big Reds, standing just shy of their own 45. And we have a stoppage in play, and I believe we have a timeout on the field. And the Big Reds called it. So with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter, we've got a 14-14 game. Super Bowl of Port Huron. Derek Wark, the Big D, and CPHS Channel 6, proud to be bringing you this one, and with good reason thus far. Well, that Big Red offense, we'll talk about them finally. They line up 4 seniors and a junior on the offensive line. Senior center number 67, Mark Wilcox, leads the way up front. As I mentioned before, 57 Hartman, 51 Mirendorf, Joe Randolph 66, and Calvin Chapman is 77. This offense seldom lines up any tight ends, but when they do, 8, Sean Butler and Alex Smolik, who had a great week last week, as we said, number 17. Smolik will also line up as a wideout, and a good one. When you start talking about the offense of this Big Red team, it's the wideouts you mentioned first, and they've already been a factor. 18, Steve Sawyer. 81, David Foster. You saw him with a kick return. They're talented, they'll quick, yards after catch, and they'll catch most things you throw to them. The quarterback is 7, Justin Black, replaces the mega-talented Jordan Galanos, and he lines up in shotgun most of the time, 75% of the time anyway. High snap, punt, it's a good one. That Perez can really punt the football. Titus on the bounce, 35, avoids tacklers 40. We've got flags all over the place. Titus still avoiding tackles. Now dives forward, lowers his head of steam to the 45 among tacklers 9, Tremaine Cootie, but look out, I think that's coming back. Again, Titus, 21, we've heard a lot about him, the feature tailback, and this offense that depends so much around their tailback. The all-state talented Chris Taddy. As I mentioned already in this game, you don't replace what that kid did because he did everything for them. But you can certainly still be a star, and it amazes me how often Ryan Mullins and Ed Kindle before him continued to find the talented players and athletes to run. Let's face it, what is a spread or even a patented run and gun offense at this level? They keep finding the talent at the skill positions. And it's fun to watch. It's been fun to watch for 5-6 years now. Ever since the Larry Rowland days and the Adrian Brown days. They're fun. Fun offense to watch. Number 3, Winslow Chapman as well, the slot back / halfback for this team. 1st and 10 from the 27. Wide open, David Foster. Look at him motor. Ooh, to the 46 and a first down. While they're playing off these wideouts right now, and that might not be the best decision. Obviously, they don't want the deep ball. But if they don't give it to you, if Foster keeps doing this, you do it all day. You have to make the Huskies adjust to that. You cannot leave a guy that wide open. And he's not just your average wideout, 6'4", 180. He's already the star of the game to this point for the Big Reds. And I believe we have another timeout on the field here. Nope. End of the first quarter. And it has been a dandy, folks. 14-14 after 1 from Memorial Stadium. We are in for a dandy if it keeps going like this, and I see no reason why it won't. Derek Wark, the Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Back to Memorial Stadium in a moment. Well, the first quarter of football had everything that I've wanted for years out of the rivalry game, and I finally get to see it. All kinds of things. We saw a kick return, we saw passing touchdowns, we saw rushing touchdowns, and the game is only a quarter old. This is what it's all about. It really is. On, again, the anniversary of 9/11, these kids are playing their hearts out so far, and it's great. Shotgun, 1st and 10, the pump fake. Now to the outside, good late protection. Airing this one out deep right sideline. Bobbled and batted away by Sawyer. It looked more like it was in the hands of cornerback Otis Freeman than Sawyer. And I was just talking about it. They will go to the deep ball. So you really have to pick your poison. Do you lay off their wideouts and guard the deep ball, or do you come and guard their wideouts man to man and hope you don't get burned? Here you see the pass again. Otis Freeman, by the way, great defensive position. And Sawyer actually made more of a defensive play than an offensive. But when you have quarterbacks that can make throws like this, you do it, you make them. What do we have here? Personal foul against the Huskies. So that moves the Big Reds up into nice territory now from the 39-yard line. You cannot give this team any extra momentum. They can burn you. Crowd all of a sudden magically cheering, and I have no idea why. That's always a good feeling over there on the other side where the Big Red cheerleaders and the Husky cheerleaders are over there together. 1st and 10 from 38 from shotgun. Again to operate, Justin Black going deep left side, David Foster. Caught! Touchdown, Big Reds! He is some kind of talent. We have a flag on the play, and it might be a Husky saving grace. We'll have to wait and see. Jake Davis is over there talking to the officials. Man, what hands of David Foster. And I'm telling you, it is not a case of bad defensive coverage. He just went up and got it. But don't look now. The flag is against the Big Reds. What a weapon to have on your outside in number 81. Wow. Here you see the replay. Flag might be holding, but look at this arm. It's in Foster's hands, but 7 there, Matt Davis was beat, all right? But he was in a perfect position. That is not his fault at all. I mean, you're dealing with a kid that is 6'4", 180. And I think he's bigger than 180 myself. And he might be even taller than 6'4", but that's what they list him at. Davis is 6'2", 170, so he's given up a little bit of height. But trust me, on that play, Davis did everything he could. And it was good defensive coverage. And basically, it doesn't matter now. The penalty brought it back. From the 43, 1st and 15. Shotgun. Off the fake, QB keeper Justin Black gets 10, gets 14, rammed hard out of bounds, and that might be a late hit, and it is. One reason you call a late hit there is, one, it's the quarterback, and you don't need to just ram him to the ground like they did. But that wall, we've mentioned this before at Memorial Stadium, it is not far away from the out of bounds. So you got to show some respect as you're making the tackle or pushing the guy out. Here's that play again a minute ago, showing you Foster's hands. He just goes up and gets it, and what can you say when you have magnets for hands? And I don't know if these wideouts put sticky stuff on their gloves or just what they've got, but we have holding this time Huskies. But David Foster, I mean, you got speed, you got hands, you got height. You know who he reminds me a lot of is when Coach Kindell coached Terry Mitchell. Very, very similar. They are. And I remember being amazed at what Mitchell could do. And this Foster, he keeps going at the rate he's going, I'll tell you. Terry Mitchell part 2. And that is a compliment, believe me. Well, timeout on the field is an official's timeout. Again, Marysville hosting Madison Heights Madison tonight. They are apparently ranked in state the way the Marysville Vikings have come out at 2-0, that's going to be a great game over there. And that might be where Hyde is tonight. Again, Derek worked the big D, flying solo, but that's fine with me. Carrying on without the big man, Hyde. And I got to give him a break and some credit. I mean, the dude got married. The dude had a kid since the last time I've seen him. Or at least since winter time, I'll say that. I saw him 2 weeks ago. So I'll give him some credit there. He's proud of the little Hyde, and he wants to bring him around to everybody who will even give him the time of day. So there you go. But back to this game, that penalty, huge at the time, but the holding that the officials are talking about right now from the previous play, that's really set the Huskies back and really is opening the door for the Big Reds to maybe strike again here. With 11:41 to go in the second, 14-14, Huskies and Big Reds. To pass from shotgun, bobbled snap. Here comes Corrigan again. And thrown away, and that, folks, is going to be intentional grounding because the new rule states you've got to be out of the pocket. Clearly, Justin Black was not. So they get a break. And now the Huskies get a break. And it's a good call, really. He was in the pocket. And if you're wondering, that pocket will stretch from tackle to tackle the entire length of the football field. Black has got to get over there and out of the pocket before he throws the ball away. Easier said than done. And they know it. But the good thing about a guy like Black, I mean, he'll go out there now and he can hit the deep ball. So a penalty like this doesn't hurt this offense like it would the offense across the field, because they've got the big play capability and the big strike. From the 25, second down and 10. 11:35 to go in the second now. Black, low snap again. They're having problems with that. Airing it out high for Foster again. Foster jumps up. He has it. Touchdown, Big Reds. I'm telling you, having a weapon that tall and that athletic is not fair. And again, it is not a case of the Huskies in bad defensive coverage. They're over there, they have that play perfect. There is 2 and 3 guys surrounding David Foster. Extra point try, missed. So that kind of takes away from the touchdown, but not really. There you see it. 20-14, 11:29 to go in the second. Low snap again. Good protection, and he just airs this one out for anybody. But look, Davis is directly in front of him. Well, he doesn't have the help that I thought he did. Nick Kendrick and Alex Johns-Moore guarding their own men. They came over late. But what are you going to do? You can't fault Davis for that. No way. It's not like he's getting beat. It's just, you got size, you got hands, you got height, and you got speed. And you got a quarterback that can get you the ball. We saw a little bit of what David Foster had last year, and we kind of knew what to expect this year. But again, the big question coming into the football game was, did the Big Reds have anybody that could get him the football? Well, that question's been answered, folks. We can forget Galanos and Taddy and start thinking about the Black-Titus combination, because they're here to stay, and they look good. Good with a capital G. Big Reds to kick this one off again. And let's get nasty, Port Huron. Weak kick, this one taken to the 25, bobbled immediately, but picked up again to the 30 and down to 31-yard line. Otis Freeman, the kick return, 6 among tacklers. Jarrett Chapman, Seems like everybody on this Big Red team is called Chapman. There's enough of them. Certainly all good players in their own right. We keep seeing shots of this great crowd. They are awesome tonight. They're all over the place. We expect that for a rivalry evening, but this is a real good crowd. And they fill the end zones. They have to put up separate stands in the right end zone. Pitch out, 1st and 10. Around the outside. Again, this is Manis. A lot of pushing, shoving, bumping. Among tacklers, and last to get up from that pile, big 76, Simon Vargas of the Big Reds. Was that little guy licking the steering wheel a minute ago? Where are they doing that? I don't know. There's Justin Williams, who they've rented a scissor lift for tonight. Now, are you a legend when you have a scissor lift prepared for you to do camera work on? That's crazy. And we thank the Port Huron Area School District for allowing that one. Pitch out, Darian Hay, great wheels around left. Cuts upfield 50, down 45 of the Big Reds. And a first down and a whole lot more. And maybe a late hit too, or something along those lines, as a late flag being thrown right at where the tackle was made. You talk about a back and forth football game. This is awesome. It really is. This is not the same Husky team that I saw in the first 2 weeks. No way. It is not even remotely close. That Sterling Heights team is a great team. Mark my words, that is an exceptional passing football team. So really it's hard to judge the Huskies. And game 1, they looked a little rusty against St. Clair. They look a lot better this week. They needed to be, obviously, with the Big Reds here. But it's not the same team. It isn't. From the 39, 1st and 10. Just over 10 ticks to go in the second quarter. They send the man in motion, Manis again. He gets the pitch this time. He has blockers again this time to the outside, but a great tackle from behind made by 8, Ashawn Butler. I think that right there is on the roof, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's no fence around them. That's just near the top, I guess. These people here, at this point, they're looking for anywhere they can sit. Like, that gives you an indication right there. People sitting on the grass near the fence over there to the right. There's nowhere to sit right now. And I am more than bragging when I say I love the fact that I have my own booth. 2nd and 6 from the 36. Big Reds jump. If you're the Huskies, you take that and you love it. It is offside defense. It was right side who jumped. Should be close to the first down now. It looks like 2nd and short it will still be. Well, the Huskies in their schedule, of course, 2 weeks ago they beat St. Clair 14-7. Lost to Sterling Heights last week 30-10, and of course this week. That's the outside, by the way. And you know it's a big crowd when the outside looks like that. We'll talk about the rest of the schedule here in just a minute. 2nd and 1 from the 31. Big Reds almost jump again, sending the man in motion again. This is a fake this time. To pass, Perez caught, Sanders down. It's short. It's not the prettiest, but it's all you need in a first down, Huskies. Well, next week, the Huskies are finally away. They're going to Chippewa Valley, Mac Red Supreme team, and that is always tough, even though the Chippewa Valley Big Reds aren't rated as high as they have been in past years. Then they're at Utica. They come back October the 2nd for Grosse Pointe South, and they're a great team this year, I might add, too. One of the favorites to win the MAC Red. Then they're at Roseville, October the 10th, and we'll talk more about the schedule again after this play. From the 28, it's 1st and 10. One fake, but not two. Met hard, brought down hard. Among tacklers standing over there, 25, Matt LaForge, but it's a whole horde of Big Reds And last one to get up as well, 50, Mike Lamming. October the 16th is homecoming for Northern. They host Fraser High School, the team that the Big Reds beat last week in overtime. And then October 23rd, Lance Cruz High School. They are at Lance Cruz and they close there. So there you have the Huskies and their remaining schedule. We'll get to the Big Reds and the rest of their schedule a little bit later on in the contest. Right now, though, 2014, they still have the lead. 7:39 to go in the second, and we have a Northern timeout. And the reason I know we have a Northern timeout, we've said it before, Coach Kucera comes running out on the field. That's quite the haircut, by the way. Over there on 7, Matt Davis, the Mohawk. And it looks like a couple other kids have kind of followed suit for the Huskies and shaved their heads as well into the Mr. T style. Trent Beebe down there has one too. That's great. That's team unity. I wonder if they did it themselves. I don't know if they used a weed whacker or a lawnmower or just what it was, but that's great. That's team unity at its best right there. Actually, that's become tradition from what I understand at Northern. To shave your heads or mohawk your heads. And speaking of heads, there's two heads right there of Channel 6 employees walking into that legendary, we'll say, Channel 6 bus. Only magic happens in there. And up here. Yeah, CPHS Channel 6, gotta love it. 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. By the way, Matt Davis is the quarterback right now. Pitch out, Tyler Smith. Tackled hard by 8's Ashawn Butler, but not before another first down, I believe, for the Huskies. And don't look now, they're on the prowl again. Well, play fakes, counters, pitch backs, end arounds, reverses, all part of this option system. And Tyler Smith got good yardage on that one. So from the 17 now, 1st and 10. Just over 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. Man in motion is Heck. Back to pass this time, outside Matt Davis, wide open. Just overthrew Nate Manis a little bit too far. By the way, Mark Perez, as we saw a moment ago on camera, was sitting on the bench. Matt Davis is in the football game now and is the quarterback. So we don't know what's happened to Perez, but certainly that could be a big loss for the Huskies to lose their starting quarterback. Now, so far, Davis has demonstrated that he has a bit of an arm. There you see the ridiculous amount of fans that are here tonight. That's in the end zone. That's not even in the actual stands. And that's what, 6 deep, 7 deep? Give me a break. Awesome crowd, awesome game so far. From the 17, 2nd down and 10 from there. Davis with Manis in motion again. Fake, coming blindside and sacked. 50, Mike Lamming. Opening up a can. That play there is doomed if you have a pass rush coming from the outside like they had right there. Just because of the fact that when you make that fake on the counter there, or in this case, the off-tackle fake, when you make that fake, you're not back far enough. That's just a Merry Christmas. That's a Thanksgiving Day feast for Mike Lamming because Davis is not back far enough coming off the fake. Not that he'd have seen him anyway. That was a blindside sack. 3rd and 13 from the 20. One back step. That might be a live football. And now they're saying incomplete. I'm telling you, though, that is close. Officials waved that off. But if that is behind the wideout, that's a live football. Or behind the quarterback, sorry. Yeah, hello. How's it going, man? He's a big Michigan fan. That is very close, actually, but I think the refs made the right call. And they're going for the field goal here. This looks like from 37 yards. Nowakowski from there. High snap, place down, kick. Wide left. Carson Nowakowski had the distance, but he missed the left upright. So with 6:07 to go in the second, there you see the score, 2014 Big Reds on top in the Super Bowl of Port Huron, and there you see a very quiet pack. They've been anything but quiet in the first quarter. Again, this is CPHS Channel 6. Derek Work, the Big D, the Big Reds, and Husky Football Network. And how often can I say both of them at once? Well, once a year. Yep. And this is it. Well, this looks unsure of itself from the get-go, and I think the Big Reds have called timeout. So the rest of that Big Red schedule now, I talked about the Husky schedule earlier. The Big Reds, of course, week 1, they beat East Detroit in East Detroit. They were off to a bit of a slow start, but then they just exploded. They beat Fraser last week, 34-27, again, the thrilling overtime victory. As you see the great Husky crowd as always, and there you see the fan section, the student section, I should say, to the right of the band. That band, by the way, if you're wondering why they are empty, they've emptied out their section. They've gone for the big halftime extravaganza going to happen here, probably with both bands at the half. Actually, I think the Big Reds had the opener, so I think the Huskies are going to have the halftime show. Anyway, of course, this week, the rivalry game. Next week, we have the Big Reds here at Memorial Stadium, and Dakota comes in. Obviously, Macomb, Dakota, I don't have to tell you how good they are, so that's going to be interesting to see how the Big Reds play against a great MAC Red rival. Again, the Big Reds, the week after that, they're home, September 25th, to Anchor Bay, and they're no pushing laughing matter either. So it's a good schedule here for the Big Reds. We'll continue talking about that in a moment, but first they have the ball back now. 6:07, Justin Black from shotgun. 4 wide out look again, one back, that's Titus. He gets the carry. Through the hole, jumped on quickly though, after a gain of maybe 3 yards. And Kenny Sanders on the tackle. And a great player in his own right, Kenny Sanders. October the 2nd, the Big Reds are at Roseville. Then they're back here October the 9th for Sterling Heights. Then they're at Grosse Pointe South, and then they close out the season here with Warren Woods Tower, which will be senior night. Keep in mind the Sterling Heights night, October the 9th, is homecoming, and the Anchor Bay evening is parents' night. Back to pass, overthrows, intended receiver this time, 17, Alex Zmolik. I tell you, between this Zmolik, David Foster, and Steve Sawyer, you won't find a better wideout trio in the MAC Red. Check that, the MAC Blue. That's a promise. You know what I'm looking forward to, too? That October 9th game between Sterling Heights and the Big Reds. That's going to be a shootout, and I can't wait for that one. From the 23, 3rd and 7, again from shotgun, Black. They set up the screen to Titus, and he dropped the football. The Huskies were coming, 6 with a good defensive play. And wouldn't you know it, I don't have 6 listed. So we'll call 6 Mr. X, and he made a great play right there. Well, when you see a screen like that, a couple things you've got to look for. Are their blockers ready, prepared, and upfield for the Big Reds there? And what's the speed of Titus like? He's got to go, and he's got to go hard. And he might have been guilty of looking upfield first there, but that's normal on a screenplay. By the way, 6 there, and I apologize to him for not having his name on the roster. He went limping off there, and he went in a hurry, so again, usually when they do that, it's a cramp. But again, I don't know what the injury status of Mark Perez, the starting quarterback of the Huskies, is. we'll have to see. The punt, standing at his own 10. 41, Babcock punts it off the bounce, taken by Tyler Smith, 45. Cuts up after the shake and bake at the 50 and down to the Big Red 44. So one last drive perhaps for the Huskies before halftime. The best thing about this game, though, is it's high scoring, but the Huskies, it's close, and they're down by 6, but it's not like you can say it's 6 points and they don't have momentum, or they're out of the game. It's anybody's game right now, and that's what I was hoping for here on Rivalry Week. There you see a good strong return by Tyler Smith. Punt returns not easy, particularly at this level. From the 43, 1st and 10. Again, Manis in motion. Here's that same play again. Davis leading blocking to the outside. Manis cuts upfield. And I think this might be a block in the back from Davis, but we'll see. Now, Northern is pointing over there, so it might have been against the Big Reds in a face mask by the looks of things. Davis on the replay, though, you got to be careful when you're blocking in that situation. He almost pushed the back of the Big Reds, but it looks like it's going to be a face mask on the Big Reds, and certainly the Huskies will take that one. It is a face mask. Automatic 15 now. As far as I know, at this level, there's no such thing as an incidental face mask any longer. Here's that last play again. Watch Davis to the outside. He's a beast. He's looking for anybody at this point to hit. Well, it's from the side. He's all right. He didn't really touch him. You got to watch for that, though. From the 25, 1st and 10. And if I'm Nate Manis and I'm running, I love the fact that Jake Davis is leading the way. I'll tell you. Check that Teddy Dooley on that 77. 76, Jake Davis. The two of them, both big guys. So, and you ask how big? Well, I'll answer you. Dooley 6'3", 235. Jake Davis 6'4", 300. I like the fact that they're blocking for me if I'm Nate Manis, I'll tell you that. But we've talked about it before. The Huskies in previous years have not been the biggest up front, and you need big meat eaters up front. There's a look at the crowd, and that gives you an idea of what the crowd's like. Row to row, it's packed. I don't know if it was just rumor or what, as we have a timeout in the field, obviously. 4:50 to go, 20-14, Big Reds on top. There was talk one time, and I think it might be just talk, of completely putting stands all the way around this Memorial Stadium. Wouldn't that be neat if they did that? It would cost a ton of money, and they probably don't want to fork it out, but I heard rumors about that a couple years ago. I don't know if you could fill it, but man, there's a lot of people here tonight. Off the play fake, QB keeper Davis, inside the 10, to the 8. And we still don't see Mark Perez, who Davis has filled in for and certainly doing a nice job so far. And the Huskies are on the prowl again. What a great first half of football. Good and close. Here's a replay. The fake. And that was a great fake. It didn't look like it was a smooth one, but that might be why it went so well. Again, fakes don't always have to look great. You just got to hold on to the football and hope the defense bought it. 1st and goal from the 9. Davis, the fake again. Pitch back this time. Johns Moore upfield to the 5. And out of bounds. The forward momentum might have taken him to the 4. 25 to tackle Matt LaForge. Again, CPHS Channel 6. Again, Derek Wark, the Big D. And when I have the time, I will certainly be blogging about this game at bigdsports.info. I love talking about it. I really do. And these kids deserve the publicity that people give them, I'll tell you. Pitch out here, Johnsmore. There you see, avoiding one tackle nicely, but met by the Big Reds, protecting the end zone and inside the 5 now. Pitch back this time. Heck, cuts upfield. End zone. Touchdown, Huskies. And the little kid wouldn't give him the ball back after it. That's just pure speed. You cut that ball upfield, and you go. And he did. And don't look now, folks. Nowakowski to put the Huskies ahead. I never saw this coming. Tyler Smith, the hold. And did that go through? It barely went through. That just tucked in to the left. Check that, by the way, Solomon Love on the hold. Coming into this game, I did not think that the Husky offense was capable of putting much on the board. But I am not afraid to sit here and say I eat my words for the Huskies. I've seen them the last 2 weeks here at Memorial Stadium. I've seen them depend on the defense the last couple of weeks from Memorial Stadium. Well, not tonight. They're playing with a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, and as Coach Kucera, you'd expect nothing less from your team in the rivalry game, the Super Bowl of Port Huron, and he's got to be pleased because he's getting it. By the way, a minute ago there, scissor lift boy, Justin Williams, and I can't say too often that a cameraman is filming from the sky. But I guess he's part of Disney on Ice now, or something like that. So I guess it's appropriate that the star is in the sky filming tonight. I don't know. I guess that's appropriate. But I still can't believe they give him a scissor lift for this game. I can't. How awesome is that? We've got angles everywhere. Look at this one. Tremendous camera work here from the folks at PHHS Channel 6. Of course, we'll read off their names a little bit later on in the program, but man, this game looks like it's going to come down right to the wire, and this has a chance at being the best rivalry game I've ever seen. And folks, it's 13 years from the 31. Not a great kickoff. Great field position. Big Reds lowering his head to the 48. Matt LaForge. And there you see some students taking advantage of the fact that they've got nowhere to sit, so they just sit where they can. And that girl there was laying down. Yeah, get that girl a sleeping bag. Well, let's get nasty Port Huron, but not a very long kickoff here. And that might have been on purpose to keep the ball away from David Foster, who, if you're wondering, has gone all the way tonight. From the 48, 1st and 10, 4:27 to go in the half. To pass again, they're airing it out deep this time. The one-on-one matchup, Foster and Davis, and Foster comes down with it again. You know what's funny to me is, normally, if I sit here and tell you that a team is picking on a 6'2", 170-pound cornerback, you're saying, why would you do that? But when you have a wideout who is 6'4", 180, you go to him no matter who's covering him. Simply awesome hands. Titus, left side, cuts in 5. End zone touchdown, Big Reds. As quickly as I can tell you the words, strike quickly, They strike quickly. That's 2 plays. I mean, give me a break. That's 50 plus in 2 plays. And how easy did that look? This is where, if you're the Huskies, as you see, another extra point failed. But it doesn't matter. 26-21, Big Reds on top. CPHS Channel 6, Derek Wark, the Big D, 4:03 to go in the second. If you're the Huskies, though, this is where, to again see what I was going to say a moment ago, this is where you want to eat up clock. You want to just take the ball into the locker room if need be. You want to talk about it, and then you want to come out and your first drive of the second half, you want to have one of those long 8-minute drives of just third down, first down, third down, first down. That takes momentum completely away from a football team, and right now the Big Reds have that momentum. Man, what an exciting first half of football. And I'm happy to say there's another half left. Again, potential is here for the best rivalry game we've ever seen. And one of the reasons why, I think, is because we're so shocked at this Husky offense. It's a great shock. I'm more than happy the way they're moving the football. But where was this last week? Love it. Keep it up. Definitely. Well, check that. That wasn't a missed kick at all. They're just going to go for 2 here. So they've talked about this. Obviously coming off the timeout. Here's a rollout. 2-point conversion try. Black. End zone behind blocking. And he got the 2 points. So my mistake. And the Big Reds are glad I made that mistake because they go for the 2-point conversion instead of the kick. And they get it. And if you're the Huskies, you got to be thinking very much again. 28-21, you're still not out of this football game. The momentum is with the Big Reds, but it's not the first time tonight that it's been with the Big Reds. And still, the Huskies have answered. There I am. That's a big D2 right there. Even though they lost 3 in a row to Kansas City, I'm in denial. There you see Black. And that really says something too, because he's not only following the lineman on that play, he's following the tailback, Titus. And if you're a QB and you're following Titus, I mean, he's 5'6", 155. You're following a guy of that height. You've got faith that he can block. And he's a little workhorse. The Big Red's no stranger to small running backs. In frame alone, obviously. Taddy last year, 5'7". Titus, 5'6". So in the last 2 years, or 3 of Big Red football with 2 from Taddy, you can say it's the Taddy-Titus TT connection. And so far, so good. I like what I see from Mark Titus. Off the kickoff again. Let's get nasty port here on Babcock. Up to the 23, this is Otis Freeman. The 25, they jump him right away. Can't make the tackle, and here's some blocking for the Huskies. But eventually he's picked up and brought out of bounds. That's a good job by Taj King, 14 special teams player. And again, I hope I pronounced that right. And it is a sea of humanity down there. Kids are running around. People can't find spots to sit. Here you see the kickoff. Freeman, a good job here. And to use his blockers, he avoids 1 tackler there. Ends up being 3. But 14, nice job there to stay with him. Despite the fact that King missed the first tackle, he still continued. He didn't give up. He ran behind him, and he made a nice play. From the 30, 1st and 10. Under 4 to go in the second quarter. Davis. Oh, 2 men in motion. This one's flagged immediately. Big no-no. So illegal formation, 2 men in motion. That's putting the Huskies back. They've just got to settle down right now. You don't want to worry about the clock just yet. You've got about 4 minutes, 3:52 to go in the quarter. You want to be calm, although the clock is going to play into effect here, considering there's no timeouts for either team. But this is one of those times where the Huskies need one of those drives I'm talking about, where you want to eat up the clock, and you don't want that Big Red offense to touch the ball again in this half. That's got to be your goal right now. And I still don't know what the injury status of Mark Perez is. But Matt Davis certainly looks like he can fill the slot if need be. 1st and 15 now off the penalty. Pitch out, Johns Moore. And this is 8 alive. Big Red's waiting for him. Big Red's smackdown. Ashawn Butler, 8 got him. 9 got him. Dominic Schultz as well. That play has been run many, many times in this first half. Most of the time it's been run by Manis. They switched it up and ran it with Johns Moore. Again, though, if who you're blocking gets by your blocker as he did there, that play just simply cannot work, because that initial block has got to be made, or you're not going to cut that ball upfield. 3rd down and 13. This is a huge play for the Husky offense. Big Red showing blitz. Couple play fakes again. Davis airing this ball out. Wide open. Johns Moore can't make the catch. There's that same play that erupted Tyler Smith for 6 earlier. And that one was just overthrown. That play, folks, has been bought by the Big Reds every single time. There's a little guy. Loving the game. Why not? He had time to throw it. That's a tough play, you know, because it's over your head. And if you try in any sport to make that catch, as a center fielder in baseball making that, or over the head in football, as Johns Moore just demonstrated, that's tough to do. The punt is blocked. Big Reds pick it up in the air, and they're down at the 15. Oh, special teams galore. That's the play of the game thus far, no doubt about it. Great effort. And if we can get a replay to see who not only blocks the ball, but who ends up with the ball, I think it was Ron Monzo. Here you see the punt. There you see number 2, Monzo. He ends up with it. 50-something blocks it. Monzo right in his hands, licking his chops, and the Big Reds offense operating again. And I said the Huskies could ill afford to have this happen before the half is over, putting the ball in the patented Big Reds' hands again. From the 17, from shotgun, 1st and 10, Titus off the give. Like a battering ram inside the 10 to the 6. So all the momentum now favors the Big Reds. And one thing they've got to be thinking about right now, the perfect recipe for Coach Mullins is not only to score, but to run that clock way down and then score. So you can bet Titus is going to run this football again, or a QB keeper, or something along those lines. Titus, he is going to run it. Didn't get anything, lost a yard. Good pursuit, Tyler Corrigan again. 35 over there, Josh Wolford as well. But again, perfect, because you're running the clock down. That is outside. And trust me, the stands inside are completely packed. There's no moving around in there. And that's outside. Wow, what a crowd tonight. Outstanding to see this kind of support. 3rd down and 3 from the 10. They give to Titus again. See, that's what they're doing. They're playing to run this clock down. If the clock was not a factor, they might have thrown that football. And it's the right thing to do. But the question now becomes, as it gets to 4th down, do you kick this ball? I don't think so. David Foster's going out there. They have no timeout to discuss this. So the Huskies, there you see their sideline trying to get the fans involved. They're lining up for a play here. This is huge, but it's the right play call for Coach Mullins because of where the ball is and field position. And I don't think they're just in this to try and draw them offside either. They're going to go for this. 4th and 2 from the 10. They jumped. They either jumped or it's delay a game. It is delay of game. To me, and I've said this so often, delay of game at the high school level is a call I've never understood because there is not a visible play clock. I've said that before many, many times. They should insert one. So 4th and 7 now. And they're going to continue to go for this. They don't care. Look out, Foster over there to the left. They're going there. Foster inside. Caught. Touchdown. What I don't understand is this. Everybody in the stadium knows they're going to David Foster. So why did they have man-to-man on Foster? You cannot let David Foster beat you in that situation. And I guarantee you, Coach K adjusts to that at halftime because he's got to. Extra point try finally goes through for the Big Reds. This is a talented offense because basically you've got that one tremendous receiver. You know what I like about that play too? Is that he's been going fly pattern, fly pattern, fly pattern. Finally, he has a pass route where it's designed to be inside of the defender because you're on a crossing pattern that side. That puts you automatically in front. And if there is no defender in front of you there and the pass comes in front, you're going to get it every time. But the Huskies in the second half, they have got to, and I mean got to, double cover David Foster. And if that means Sawyer beating you, which isn't far-fetched anyway, he's a great player, or Smolik beating you, that's fine. If I'm on the other sideline, I've had enough of Foster beating us. And you know what? Easier said than done because he is tremendous. Just a tremendous talent. And I'd love to see the stats on him at halftime. Him and Justin Black both. Black doing a heck of a job. Let's get nasty. Port Huron. Kickoff. 1:19 to go in the half. Otis Freeman now takes it to the right side. Got some blocking, but the Big Reds meet him. And we have a fumble. The Big Reds pick it up, but the referee is indicating that they're down. And thank heavens for the Huskies that he was. Winslow Chapman got up with the football. He did the right thing. You take nothing for granted. You hop on that football all the time. What's the worst that they can say? No? Kind of a squib kick here. Freeman has been around the right side. He wanted to take it to the left side this time. And 3 were waiting for him. Oh, wait a minute. When did that come out? I think he was down. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now. The give is straight up and straight down. They don't have a timeout here. So obviously I think they're going to just let this clock run. Anyway, it was a first half that I really enjoyed. Big Red's up 14, 35-21. But the Huskies have been neck and neck with them through much of it, through at least a quarter and a half. Again, like last week with Sterling Heights, it is hard to keep an offense like this down. It's almost impossible to do it for 4 quarters. Nothing's impossible, but it's close. Huskies did it for 2 quarters against a great Sterling Heights team last week. Here's a big gain, but it's a fumble, and the Big Reds jump on the football at the 43. They actually have time here. That's a great gain by, I think, Darian Heck. He just lost the football. Here's the replay. We'll see if he was stripped. And what's sickening is, with Foster out there, they've got time to hit again. Yeah, good strong hit. 25 knocked it clean. Matt LaForge, good play. Absolutely. Shotgun again, look out. Back to pass again, looking for Foster again. This is Sawyer this time. Overthrew him. Foster came up on the curl that time, actually, on the left side. And Sawyer was the one who did the fly. And it's hard not to keep going to Foster, as talented as he is, but remembering Sawyer from last year, he was a great wideout last year. They've got weapons on this football team. I could honestly see them pulling 8-1 this year with a guy like Foster, because you can't stop a guy like that all day long. You just can't do it. Shotgun, 4 wide look again. Sending it over the middle, right in Tyler Smith's hands and in and out. You know what I like about this, though? Is that the Big Reds didn't just say 25 seconds left. Flag on the field, by the way. They didn't say 25, we're going to kneel, we're going to take it out with a 14-point lead. They're not satisfied. And I like that train of thought right now. This is going to be on the Huskies because they're asking the Big Reds what they want to do, so whether or not Tyler Smith picks that one off wouldn't have mattered. We have a chop block. That's 15 yards. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Tyler Smith would like that one back. But he is one of the big contributing factors to the 21 on the scoreboard for the Huskies. He has the biggest play I think they've had all year. And basically a play action fake earlier where they just bombed it to him and he was wide open, took it in for the easy 6. 14 seconds left to go in the half. Back to pass again. Got hit late. In front of him this time, Freeman picked it off. And finally, a cornerback in front of the Big Red wideout who steps up and makes an interception play. And the interesting call here is, are they going to call a touchback? Or did he intercept this and go out on the 1? And I think they're going to call a touchback. They're talking about it. I tell you, if that's not a touchback, that's a big, big play. Great concentration by Freeman to haul this in. Well, it's holding against the Big Reds flag, so it won't matter. Huskies get the ball back. Huge play, Otis Freeman. So that kind of keeps the Big Red fans quiet momentarily over here. We're to our final 8 seconds, and I would think the Huskies are going to kneel. Or just an innocent run and nothing fancy here. They have no timeouts. But that would have been my biggest worry, is did Freeman intercept that ball and fall out of bounds? Here you see it. He gets it, catches it there. Now he's end zone. That's the right call. Yep. Yep. So final 8 seconds. Straight up and straight down. That, folks, is going to be the first half. So the Big Reds go into halftime. Very, very happy. Huskies not so happy, but I got to tell you, from a complete football standpoint, this is the best half the Huskies have had yet this season. Derek Rourke, the Big D, CPHS, Channel 6. It's been a great rivalry game so far. The third quarter coming up.
Majors, are you ready to take the field? The Fort Erie Northern Marching Band proudly presents Danny Elfman.
And welcome back. Second half action about to start here from Memorial Stadium. The big rivalry game, the Super Bowl of Port Huron, and here we have it for you on CPHS Channel 6 and myself, Derek Wark, the Big D. It was a first half that I actually expected. The Big Reds run and gun all day long, and I expect more of that in the second half. The Husky D started off pretty strong, but then again, it's hard to stop the Big Red defense. I said it was great defense versus great offense, but it's been all out both sides. Huskies have certainly opened up their offense a lot too. This second half, they've got to keep to their ball plans, or their offensive game plans, to a par. They've got to come out. They've got to have a great big 8-minute drive. They've got to try to control the clock on their first drive and really keep that Big Red offense off the field if they want any chance at winning this football game. But it'll be interesting to see how Northern adjusts to David Foster. One-on-one, you just cannot guard this guy. And basically, the Huskies are sending Matt Davis out there. He's their tallest, their biggest guy out there. And David Foster is still too tall for that. So they may have to double cover him, and we'll see if they make that big adjustment. But again, I expect the Big Reds to open up their offense even more when they pass. I think Steve Sawyer has barely been used in this game. I think they're going to try and do that a little bit more. And also, as I mentioned, they're going to try and run the ball a lot more with Mark Titus. They're up 14. Basically, they want to run that clock down too. So that's what we can expect of the second half. And as Carson Nowakowski gets ready for it, let's get nasty. Port Huron, second half. Huskies try the onside kick, and I think they got it back. Otis Freeman, looks like they've got it. They do. That, I think, kind of took the Big Reds by surprise. And that was very well done. Easily rolled the 10 yards. They got it at midfield. The Huskies get the ball back. Now, here's what I'm talking about. Long, sustained drive. It has to come right now. First downs and go down and score. That's what they're going to look to doing. We'll see if they can now that they got the ball back to start the half on a great call because it worked. The onside kick. Ball right smack dab at the 50. I never did hear the injury status of Mark Perez. He went out late first quarter. He has not returned as far as I know. Matt Davis, the quarterback, and he looks like he's got an arm, so he looks like he can fill in nicely. From the 50, first and 10, pitch back, Manis. Behind the blocker of Dooley again. Manis cuts the field again, past the 40 to the Big Red 38, and enough for a first down and a whole lot more. They've been running that play all day long. They've shown variations of it, the odd play fake with it, but basically it's that play with either Manis or Johns Moore to the outside. Basically their favorite play. And case in point, you run it because it works. Seldom will it erupt for 50 yards, but what they're trying to do right now, as I mentioned, is move the sticks, and so far so good. Here's the same look, same play again. Manis again, nothing. And at any level, if you're going to keep running the same play all the time, a defense will adjust. If for nothing else, because after a gain of 16 on a minute ago, they got the first down, they've got to adjust. There's the crowd on the left-hand side. Not as deep as the right, but there's just nothing over the left-hand side. Not much room, but they're packing it in as best they possibly can. And it's right up there with the great crowds at the stadium. From the 36, second and 12, the whole Big Red line jumps offside. So off the loss of yardage on first down, certainly it's been given back here with the encroachment. So now it'll be second and a lot shorter. Again, Derek Wark, the Big D, Channel 6, CPHS. All kinds of camera shoots tonight. Even a scissor lift has been involved in our camera project, we could call it. So pulling out all the stops for the rivalry game. From the 34 now, they call it second and 7. Off the play fake, over the middle, Manis. Well, he looked upfield. If there's one thing about going over the middle, wideouts don't like it. And the reason for that is their first thought is, I'm going to get decked. That's why if you have wideouts at the pro level that are willing to do that, like the Keyshawn Johnsons of the world, you're going to get big bucks. You have to be fearless to make a catch like that consistently. 3rd down and 7, again from the 34. That play would have been big. It was all for naught, though. Play fake. The reverse option pitch, but that is snuffed. Perfect. '70 James Billy was a bully. Huh. But the good thing about that is it's something different. Option pitch, but it's an end around the other way. And you put the ball in a guy's hands who can get it done in Tyler Smith. He has a touchdown tonight. But I like the play call. If for nothing else, it's something different. 4th down and 14, they're going to go for it. More or less because they're in danger of falling behind 3 scores. Back to pass over the middle this time. In and out of the hands of Johnsmore, and this has to frustrate the Husky coaching staff, because as much as that ball may have been ahead of Johnsmore a little bit, and the last ball in the hands of Manis, they say if it hits your hands, it's got to be caught. One thing I like about this game and how it's gone, though, we've seen the passing that the Huskies are really capable of on offense, and we have not seen that the last 2 weeks. And I'm all for it, to be honest. From the 40, 1st and 10, Big Reds on offense now. Justin Black having a great day throwing to Titus instead. Look at him to the left side to the 40, up 35, out of bounds, 31. And is it just me, or does it seem like every time this Titus touches the football, he's got a lot of area to run? He's not a very big guy. He's 5'6", but look at the hole he had. My word. And then great block, David Foster on the outside. That's perfect. That's all you can ask for a wideout to do right there. Johnsmore eventually made the tackle. Well, the player of the first half, without a doubt, is David Foster, unless you say Justin Black, but that play in particular, you love to see that as a coach, your wide-out block. From the 31, 1st and 10. Fake this time, nope, instead Titus again for 7. I said they might do this. They might go to Titus that much more, up 14, with really nothing to lose here. Again, if you're just joining us for whatever reason, and I don't know why, because it's been a great game. Huskies came out 7-0, then they had 14-7. They actually took the lead again at 21-20, but since then, 15 unanswered for the Big Reds, and they're knocking on the Husky door again. Shotgun again, Huskies show blitz. The fake, avoids the blitz, gets upfield to the left to the 16. Well, that's one reason I like having the big man high jump here. Coughing fits like the one I just had. But I think we're good to go now. From the 17, 1st and 10. Here we go again. On the quarterback rollout, Black decides to keep it. Gets a block from Sawyer to the outside. Upfield 10, out of bounds, 7. Justin Black, and this is the kind of quarterback you like to have. Obviously, I didn't think going into this season Jordan Galanos could be replaced, but they always seem to replace the most important positions on this team. But the fact that Black can scramble, he can run a little bit, he throws on the run a little bit, and they're a wide open offense with so many possibilities for Coach Mullins and staff to really do. Good pursuit, Corrigan and the rest of the Huskies. But again, these late play calls and all this is where you'd love to have a visible play clock at this level. First and goal from the 8. Titus, up the middle, in. Touchdown, Big Reds. For the most part, when little 21 has touched the ball tonight, he's had a ton of rushing area, and he's well over 100 yards, probably over 150 in this one. Extra point try, place down, kick is up and good. So don't look now, but after what was a very close first half with a ton of scoring, the Big Reds have now doubled the Husky points. Here's a replay again. Titus, a huge hole from center on. And nobody waiting in front of Titus to make the tackle. They're coming from the sides to make that tackle, and that spells doom when you're inside the 10. So it's a 42-21 game now. Close for the most part in the first half. There you see some of the fans. Great crowd on hand in basically all areas of the field. So we'll see what the Huskies can do offensively now. I said they were going to come out and try and be time of possession, ball control, every word you've got for that style offense. But when you're down now 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns, they may have to open it up and keep opening it up now. Here's the kickoff, and let's get nasty again, Port Huron. That one's a gift. An out-of-bounds kickoff. Huskies are going to get good field position, and it'll be the 35 due to the penalty for kicking it out of bounds on the kickoff. Again, it's the Big D. Broadcasting tonight, CPHS Channel 6. You're watching the rebroadcast. Hyge not with us tonight. I don't think. I haven't seen him in the booth anyway. Only so many places a guy of that size can be in your booth. No, he's not here. And I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would bet he's at the Marysville game. As I said, coming into this game, the Big Reds have scored 75 points in 2 away games, again versus East Detroit and Fraser. So that's an average of over 37, and they've got 42 and counting tonight. From the 35, again, 1st and 10, couple fakes. Another fumble. I think the Big Reds, nope, the Huskies jumped it. Big Reds say it's theirs, but I think the Huskies got that ball back. Unless it was ripped out. It must have been ripped out. I swear Chad Patterson jumped on that football for the Huskies. When it rains, it pours. And to the Big Red's satisfaction, good field position again for them on the Huskies side. Usually in these rivalry games, oh, there you see Patterson jumped on the football, but accidentally kind of batted it outward Fumbles are hard to pick up, I'll tell you. They really are, because the ball's wobbly. You got guys all over you. Big Red's fortunate to get that ball back again. 3 wide this time. 1 back set. They give to Titus again. Off tackle, nothing. Good tackle, Wolfrook. And Wolford certainly has had another big game, but you'd expect that from the senior, and he's played excellent linebacker tonight. But in these rivalry games, as I was going to say a moment ago, the Big Reds haven't really put up a ton of yards and points in the past. Titus going to throw this ball. Outside, it's incomplete. So the running back toss there almost worked. Sawyer intended receiver. And the Big Red crowd getting the wave going. Sometimes in here with big crowds, Hi Janai will even do the wave. As pathetic as that might be. I don't know how you do it when you can't go all the way around. I guess, unless on the other end zone to end zone they do it, I don't know. Quarterback rollout this time. He's going to keep it. Lots of yards, cuts up instead of going out of bounds, and he's eventually wrestled down to the 27. And he's up 21, so it really doesn't matter, but a QB in that situation, you've either got to run out of bounds or you've got to fall. You've got to dive forward, and that's easier said than done, but cutting it upfield like that is how you get hurt as a quarterback. Here he is on the play, and you can see Black just takes off here, and he's got great wheels. And avoiding tackles, but you want your quarterback to kind of go forward, not these head-first dives cutting upfield. One side of me is shocked by the replacement of Jordan Galanos this season, that he's this good so soon. But the other side of me thinks, well, Coach Mullins has replaced these guys for years. And so did Ed Kindell. There was always, it seemed, Big Reds at the skill positions that were being replaced. So in a sense, the kids you lost from graduation, they just brought in the new batch. And it looks like this new batch is primed for a big year. Primed to go 3-0 at least. And it's good that they are going 3-0 with Macomb, Dakota coming in next week. And that is a huge game for the Big Red confidence. I can't imagine them losing more than 2 games with this offense. From the 14, 1st and 10. Black, shotgun again. Plenty of time. Rollout now, but the Huskies get to him and he protects the ball. Fumbles the football. Huskies jump on it. No indication yet from the officials. Huskies think they have the football. They do. 74, Trent Beebe jumped on it. So the defense can be proud of themselves there. The Husky D, because gives them a little bit of hope. There's fans down there next to our white bus. All kinds of them. Well, smart to tuck that ball in and not throw it away. And this is not good news for the Big Reds. Justin Black is hurt. And this could be serious. They might need the stretcher here. The one thing that they could not afford. All the best to you, Justin Black, because you're a TG tough guy. You just hold your breath, cross your fingers, your toes, and everything else you might be able to cross, that is just a cramp. Right when I talk about a starting quarterback keeping the football, going for these quarterback sneaks and QB keepers and diving forward and all that. An innocent play where he kept the ball, and it can happen. Off the play fake, back to pass. Outside, caught Tyler Smith. Bobbled the football again. The only thing you could have hoped for there was if the official would have said completed ball, fumble, and recovery. And I think they're going to say that. I think they're going to give that to him. They're going to say he had possession. Right when I say that, they give it to him. Here you see, did he have it? Oh, I don't know. I don't think he did. Because he didn't bring it in. He didn't bring it in, his thigh kicked it out. But the ref may be having some compassion here, gave it to him. And now, the Big Red bench is going to get flagged. This is 15 more for unsportsmanlike conduct. And the Big Red crowd doesn't like it at all. Somebody on the Big Red side mouthed off. That's 15 more. Well, if you're a Husky, you'll take it. And the camera just didn't get there in time on that one to show us. But from what I see, I don't think he had it. Well, I have no idea what this is about. They were going to go the 15 yards. And now they didn't? Did they wave it off and down again? 1st and 10 from the 30, either way. I have no idea. Off the play fake again. That one just thrown away and decked as he threw it. 9 in the offensive backfield. Dominic Schultz and a good play. Well, again, the flag was thrown on the sideline, right where the ref stands. There's some future Big Reds and future Huskies. Some of them wanting that game right now. Junior varsity will call first, gentlemen. From the 30, 2nd and 10. Immediate handoff, and Wolford is absolutely hammered. Mike LaForge got up and wanted to congratulate anybody who'd congratulate him, and even hugged another Husky. That's funny. You can do that and be happy when you're up 21. This LaForge has had a really nice game too, and kind of under the radar as he's done it, but there's a couple guys in this game, as you'd expect, under the radar, but they've had good games tonight. 3rd and 10 from the 30. Out in the flat again, and that ball is picked off. He's gone. Touchdown, Big Reds. A Sean Butler. You will never have a finer interception. A terrific play from a linebacker. And why is that hard? It's hard to hold on to the football when you're doing that. Because first and foremost, you block the football. But then your presence of mind to hold on to that ball, your concentration to bring it in. And what really amazes me is Butler's speed after the pick. I mean, he was gone. Like I said, this Port Huron team, they just continue to find talent year after year. And it's not the biggest high school on the planet Earth, but for what they have, they're exceptional at finding the talent to fit this offense year after year. My word, where do they keep getting these kids? I tell you, Macomb, Dakota is going to come in here next week in your typical Mac Red style. And they're going to think they're going to win. And they might. But they cannot overlook this team. Extra point is good. When you have the ability to put up 49 points before the third quarter is over, you're something. Look at that play. That is a tremendous play. He's not defending the pass out there in the flat because he's not in that area. So the next step is to block the pass. And he blocked it and he got it and he went all the way. That's a great play. $29 unanswered points. There you see it again. And that ref almost could have made the tackle there. He was almost getting bumped. But look at this on screen. No one is in the vicinity. Well, there you see. They almost got him. Nate Manis was getting closer and closer, but I mean, the pure speed there of a linebacker like that, that's just a great play. Those are some funky shoes, might I add, too. On 41, Nathan Babcock. He's going for maybe the Michael Jackson look. This ball is dropped on the kickoff, jumped on. I think the Huskies have it, but you never know at this point. See at one point if we can get, oh, they're saying the Huskies have the football. See at one point if we can get a spotlight, maybe a close-up on the shoes of 41, Mike Babcock of the Big Reds. They glow red and black. They really do. Those are awesome. They match the uniform. I thought they were sparkly at first, but nah, they're just red and black. Those are nice. I've never seen a kicker with shoes like that before. Maybe on the next kickoff we can get some kind of an up close on 41, Babcock, the kicker. They've got a big lead tonight. And in the case of the kicker, the shoes look nice too. What more can you ask for out of your football team? They're up, what is it? I have to actually add this up. They're up 28 and they look good. How about it? Pitch back again. Cuts upfield, nice job. Maybe 3. Nate Manis avoids the initial tackle. And a late flag comes out. That might be late hit or a face mask of some kind as well. Again, you're watching CPHS Channel 6, the rebroadcast of the big rivalry game. The Super Bowl of Port Huron, the Big Reds, the Huskies, Derek Work, the Big D. And they're doing the 50-50 draw. And my guess is it's going to be a big total tonight. There's a lot of people here. Well, crowd chanting on this Big Red side, and I think it's "We Want the Brick." And that was the shoes, by the way, of 41. I didn't see the screen in time there, but those are cool. Hats off to Babcock for that one. They're nice. I like that. Great camera work, too. I didn't notice it, but... And speaking of great camera work, that gives you an idea right there of what we're looking at tonight. The stands are packed. There you see, that's behind us here. And there's the Channel 6 white bus there. Goodness. Lots of people. From the 45, 1st and 10. Sanders in motion this time. Check that Hake. The give instead on the counter to 9. Tremaine Cootie to the right side. Not quite enough. So I believe that brings up 3rd down. Oh, I guess 2nd down. 2nd and 3 from the 48, the Big Red 48. So maybe the Huskies will move the ball a bit more and make a game of this one yet. Again, 2nd and 3, 3:20 to go in the third. Couple fakes to pass again over the middle this time. Caught Tyler Smith. He could be gone. Inside the 10, the 5. Smith tripped up on the 1. That play right there has been open all day, and it's scary, the potential for the yards after the catch that they could have gotten had they just held on to the football tonight. This could be a different game. And knowing that, it's hard to say with the amount of offense that the Big Reds can put up, but in a way, the Huskies have beat themselves. They've dropped a lot of passes tonight. And passes that, nice to see, were there. And the first 2 weeks, I couldn't say much of that. I mean, 16 yards passing last week to this week, which is much greater than that. So they've improved in that area, and that's a stepping stone. And this Matt Davis looks like he can fill in, certainly, nicely for Perez. So best of luck to Mark Perez if that injury is serious, and certainly to Davis the rest of the way if they go with him. First and goal from the 1 for the Huskies. Not a smooth handoff, and they didn't get anything. If anything, they might have lost a half yard. Pretty good penetration at the line. Big Reds there snuff it out. And let me tell you something. Justin Black tonight, from what I've seen, has a ton of fans. A lot of girls, too, with black shirts. They look homemade, that have J Black on the back. He's a lucky guy. The latest great quarterback talent at PH. It never ends. Up the middle this time. Yes, he got in. Touchdown, Huskies. Kenny Sanders. Pointing to something. And at this point, the Huskies aren't done yet, mind you, but still trailing by the 3 possessions. The one thing they can take out of this game is they've scored a lot. Gained a lot of yards in doing it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You talk about cruelty, though. The schedule gods are not favoring the Huskies. When you have to play Sterling Heights one week and then Port Huron the next, with this kind of a passing attack from both those teams, that's just cruel. And make no mistake about it, a lot of this game and a lot of the yardage can be attributed to the size, the talent, and the ability of David Foster. Not only did he run back that kickoff all the way earlier, but he's had 3 or 4 catches and 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it was just a case of lobbing it up and letting him get it. And that's something that Sterling Heights didn't have last week. So it's not a case of the Huskies not playing strong defense. It's just an unlucky case of having a 6'4" wideout on some of these plays. Not to keep barking on it, but that's hard to defend. Don't tell that to the Huskies, though. They'll never quit. You know it. Huskies on the prowl. Here's the kickoff. Onside kick again. Let's get nasty again, Port Huron. And that one right out of bounds. And the flag on the play, obviously penalized for that. That's crowd on the other side, near the gate. Yeah, it'll be fun getting out of here later. Huh. So out come the Big Reds. It looks like there's a new quarterback, too. Number 5, Donald Rock. Sounds like a DJ, Donald Rock. So the DJ slash quarterback in there now, and he's going to be handling the rock for the fourth. Titus hits his own man. Pushed back hard. 35 Wolford, 20 Sanders among tacklers for the Huskies. To our final 2 minutes now of the third. Very, very important that the Huskies keep playing physical and aggressive defensively. Especially now that Justin Black is more than likely out for the game. Just under precautionary measure, we hope. He did leave with the injury. Now we hope this is just a case of we won't risk any further injury. We hope he's not seriously injured. Donald Rock takes off. Well, there's a head tackle and they called it. Absolutely, and Otis Freeman actually agrees with him. There's a look at the cranium close-up of one of our camera people. That's quite the head, isn't it? There we go. Here's a replay on that one. And that's a new rule. You grab any part of that head and it's 15. Well, then again, it might have been spotted the foul 5 yards after that. I don't know. Not sure how they do it at this level, but again, you cannot head tackle at all, obviously, and he did. Freeman being aggressive. Talented corner, Otis Freeman. He's got a pick tonight. And at the time, it was huge. Intercepted it in the end zone, got them a touchback. Definite run formation here. From the 37, 1st and 10. The give to the fullback and dropped. Hammered down, pick your tackler. Corrigan among them. 24, Austin Pickering as well. And who gets up last from that pile? 56, Big Chad Peterson. There you see the Big Red cheerleaders. Over there with the band, down to my left. Justin Williams, the eye in the sky tonight, is getting those views for us. And there were actually some fans that came to the bus earlier asking where we got that scissor lift from tonight. Well, here's a sack. They jumped him. And Mr. Sack himself, Tyler Corrigan, to steal a line from Hyde, more sacks than a potato farmer, and he's in there, and he makes another half tackle, and in this case, a half sack. So we got some people to thank from Channel 6 tonight, and we'll do that here after the next play. Great play, Tyler Corrigan. Honestly, flies to the guy, makes the tackle. That's going to do it for the third quarter of play. One left. So far, so good for the Big Reds. 49-28, they lead in the Battle of Port Huron. They can smell the Brick Fowler Trophy now. The crowd was chanting, "We want Brick." Well, we'll see if they get it. They're 12 minutes away from it. Derek Work, the Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Back with the fourth on the flip side. Welcome back to the fourth quarter. Derek Work, the Big D again, CPHS Channel 6, Big Reds and Huskies Football Network. Again, 49-28 after 3 quarters complete here from beautiful Memorial Stadium. A threat of rain earlier tonight, bit overcast, but a great night for football. Not too hot, not too cold, right in the middle, just the way I like it. And just the way the Big Reds like it. But you know what's funny? You look at that score and you see 49-28, but the Huskies have not played that bad. It's just this Big Red offense. Can it be tamed? Well, this is a pass to the outside, and Rock just underthrew it. It's not easy to replace a quarterback in a quarterback system. And they had to do that. With Justin Black, he went out with an injury. I don't really know the extent of that. There's the China walk. Yeah. I've never been one for Chinese food personally. But then again, I've never been to the China Walk, so maybe I spoke too soon. From midfield, here comes the punt. Babcock in the funky shoes. Smoked, and that is a live football. Huskies jump on it, and we have a flag, and that might be because they didn't give them enough room to catch that football. That's more than likely what it is. It looked to be timed pretty close. That is, if not the hardest single play on special teams to do, is to time that tackle. And as a head coach, you don't fault a player for trying to do that. You're just trying to be aggressive. You're just trying to make the tackle. I think that's the call. It is. It's a 15-yard penalty definitely this time. And here you see the replay. You have to step up to get it. Oh, I don't know. That is very close. Very close. All you really need now in the pros, I mean, in the past they've said it's a 1 yard, it's a 2 yard, blah, blah, blah. As far as I'm concerned now in the pros, all you need is just room to catch it, period. And if you look at it that way, I think he had room. Very, very close nonetheless. And Huskies haven't been getting enough calls in this game, I guess so. And they're down by a bit, so yeah, give them a call. From the 27. 1st and 10 from there. Again, both quarterbacks right now are backups. Some crazy kid down there with his stomach painted, chest painted, arms painted, yelling out to do the wave. We're going to do the wave, he says, as we have a timeout here. He's trying to lead them. Well, now he's just plain leaving. I don't think it worked. I don't think people believe him that he's going to do the wave. They have done it on occasion. But anyway, giving credit where credit is due to the Channel 6 people tonight. On the camera tonight is Gabe, Don't Call Me Kurt Cobain Killian, David Price, Brandon Smith, Sean Go Blue Went, Justin Scissorlift to the Stars, Walt Disney Williams. The slow-mo camera tonight is Chris Orell. Slow-mo director, the big fella in the truck down there, EJ Shea, getting us great replays all night long. Wireless camera, Chelsea Orrell. Wireless director is James Sinek. The graphics, Chad Schuler. Assistant director is Brandon the Killer Kovac. And of course, production supervisor, always last on this list, but never least. Number 1 down there in the van, Ed Sinek. 1st and 10 from the 27. The give got more out of that than he could have asked for initially. Number 9, Tremaine Coody on the carry. There's a Sean Butler. You gotta like how that Butler plays. You really do. Got the build of a linebacker. Has that big touchdown tonight, and he is a force, no doubt about that. Lining up on the defensive line right now. Pitch back, other side. Darian Hake. Out past the 40 to the 41. Among tacklers is 4, Carlos Sanchez. Again, I'll be blogging about this game, bigdsports.info. Because I enjoy it, and these kids really don't get enough credit, so I try and give it to them. It's a pleasure watching them, I'll tell you. Great athletes. Back to pass off, play fake again over the middle, and this one is intercepted. 14, Taj King to the 45, down to the 47. At 10:52 left now, they may just end up running the football now for the rest of the time with Mark Titus. Speaking of Kurt Cobain, they told me earlier they like that. They consider that a compliment. Well, that's just adding some fuel to the fire, I think, isn't it? Bringing Nirvana back, maybe. Okay, that's enough. I'll lay off. But again, words don't describe the job these kids do. Camera work, CPHS Channel 6. Three wide out look this time. Some in the slot. Off the fake, Donald Rock, the keeper, and a lot more. 35 up, 30 down, 26. Johns Moore, 24 as well. Austin Pickering among tacklers. Defensive player of the game. I should get to some of the players of the game here tonight. First off, to start off for the Huskies, I think Wolford has never looked better. So Josh Wolford, I'll give it to him. Played a good, tough game. He always plays a good, tough game, really. But you don't always get the credit for it like the players at the skill positions do. So I'll give it to him tonight. Wolford defensively. Offensively, I think 89 Tyler Smith. 2 great catches, 1 for a touchdown, and 1 was long for a touchdown. So, certainly Tyler Smith, tight end / wide out. This penalty, by the way, is delay of game against the Big Reds. That'll push them back. Well, player of the game for the Big Reds, that's really hard to say because David Foster was great in the first half. They haven't really used him as much in the second. But if you were to give a player of the game for a first half of football, it's Foster, and it's no-brainer. From a complete game, you could even say Justin Black, so I'll give it to Foster, Black, and Titus, because that threesome has been absolutely deadly tonight. So there you go. Offensively, some players of the game for the Big Reds. This is backup running back going nowhere. 24 on the carry, Demaine Jackson. And all over him, Chad Peterson among tacklers. For the Huskies. Defensively, for the Big Reds, I called it earlier. I think Matt LaForge has looked real good tonight. At times he's made some good plays defensively, and I'm not just somebody who's going to look at a defensive player of the game and say, oh, he had picks, or he had interceptions, or... I think LaForge was a real TG tough guy tonight, so I'm giving it to him. Bad snap, hammered after. Ooh. Look out. Starting quarterback Justin Black might already be on the shelf, and Donald Rock wore that one. Wolford hammered him and might have hurt himself in the process. That right there, great segue. That's one of the reasons why that guy is my defensive player of the game, Wolford. He's a beast. 3rd and 22. A wide out screen look. That's that Winslow Chapman I talked about. He'll get the odd one on the outside. Kind of a slot wide out. Or even a halfback if you want. And that'll bring up 4th down and 17. I think they're just going to go for it. Maybe work on some things with their backup QB. And depending on Justin Black's injury status, this could be their starting QB next week. Well, I think Rock might have thought the Huskies jumped offside. Looking to maybe audible out of this one. The Huskies did jump offside. That's Corrigan trying to time the snap count again, as he's done so frequently thus far in the first 2 weeks. A guy like Corrigan will never stop being aggressive. I'll take a bunch of Tyler Corrigans on my team any day, and I'll play you. And I think we have a timeout. We do on the field. Timeout, Huskies. Coach Kucera comes out. Does he have a coat on right now? It's a cool night. It's a good football evening, really. And great football weather all day long. It is getting a bit chilly, no doubt about that. Gotta like how September's been weather-wise. Not a great summer, but there you see on the, I believe, the other side of the field and the other roof. And I don't know what he's doing. Cars shouldn't be thrown, youngster. He prefers the smash-up derbies and not the races, I guess. Lots of youngsters here tonight. And a lot of them don't have seats. And their parents really, I don't think, care about that because they couldn't find a seat. They'll let their youngsters run around. And those two there, I don't think they've moved all night, and they have the best seat in the house. Look at how comfortable that is. Look at that homemade chair right there. That guy's living the life, man. And I don't really know if that guy's living the life. He's way up in the scissor lift. And what did I call him earlier? I actually have to look this up. Justin Scissorlift to the Stars Walt Disney. There you go. Part of the Walt Disney on Ice, I was told. Handoff. Off tackle to the right. 24, Demaine Jackson. Lost some yards. Looks kind of frustrated. So the Huskies are going to get the ball back. And basically, no fancy play calling, just Mullins trying to run down the clock on the Huskies. Well, if the Huskies have any notion of coming back in this game, and it is not over yet, it's 3 possession, but if they score quick, and they have had that with Tyler Smith today, you never know. Man in motion again, this time the fake, and QB keeper Davis kept it, but stuffed out immediately. 50 with a beauty, Mike Lemming. Another guy who could have easily been considered defensive player of the game potential as well. There's a look at the crowd again. Certainly a great crowd on hand. Much of them have not gone home either. Huskies, despite being down by 3 possessions, their fans still loyal to them very much. 2nd and 13 from the 25. The give again up the middle. Bouncing like a little pinball is Darian Hike off a bunch of tackles. But there is 8 again. A Sean Butler, who very easily could have got defensive player of the game as well. And there I am. Again, no Hyde tonight. I looked everywhere. I looked under the chair. He's not here. And there's only so many places in this booth he can be. But again, Huskies don't get discouraged. They're finally on the scoreboard. They've scored a lot tonight. That's the big thing about this. And the option system, they're proving, can work over time. So we'll see as the weeks go on. And, of course, Macomb, Dakota in next week for the Big Reds. So they've got their work cut out for them next week. But, you know, if their offense continues to go at this pace, there's a chance they could have a lot to look up to, even after that game, even if they were to lose. It's going to be a tough one. Dakota not easy out of the red. They're always one of the favorites. And an injury on the field. That's 30, Darian Hayek. I've said his name 8 different times. Hayek, Hack, Hake. And I apologize to him. I really do. I don't get told. So, an aggressive player, though, definitely. And just because I can't say the name doesn't mean he's not a good player, because he is. This is that 2 men in motion again. I believe a wide out moved far side, and someone in the slot moved on this side. Oh no, they're calling it offside defense, so that's my bad. No problem. Huskies need all the help they can get right now, and they got it there. Been getting a couple of calls going their way in the 4th. And as I said, this isn't a case of where the Huskies can't say, we can take nothing from this game should they lose it. Because offensively, they've scored. They've put points on the board, and that's all you can ask. And I actually don't mind this backup quarterback, Matt Davis. from the 32, 3rd and 7. Now pushing and an offside. I think a right guard there jumped. And it is. So offside one side, offside the other side. There you see the crowd on the big red side. That's actually right outside here, to my right. And they look kind of bored. I guess when you're up by, 21, they stay anyway to see the presentation of the patented Brick Fowler Trophy. Coach Mullins has had it so often lately. Might be getting dusty up there on his mantle. This is just a great cutback move. I don't care when it is in the game. That's a good job for Ricky Norris. That's a sign of you always keep your feet moving. Because if your leg jumps when he's making the leg tackle, which happened there, you avoid him. The flag over there, by the way, you can see it there in the, well, you could a minute ago, at half mast. So my guess is that is obviously for the anniversary of September 11th, 9/11, and what a tragic day that was for all of us. Nice to see some of the, was it Army, Navy, Armed Forces anyway here in attendance today to present the colors for the national anthem. That was great. It certainly adds to what a national anthem means when it's sung with those people in attendance at a game. And from that perspective, you know, the rivalry game couldn't have come at a better time, because that's more people in a stadium to recognize those great people among us. And certainly, as mentioned earlier, they're heroes without a doubt. One down there, from what I understand, a recruiter for Iraq. So all the best to them, definitely, as we have a timeout on the field now. 4:55 to go. 49-28, Big Reds on top, 21-point lead, and as I said, they can taste the Brick Fowler Trophy now. Does it have a cup to drink out of? I don't even know. Do they celebrate it that way, or how do they celebrate it? Either way, there'll be some partying tonight. You can bet on that. 4th and 3 from the 37. The give is not going to work. Norris really fighting, and they got a face mask out of it. So, usually they say go down. That's a situation where you don't. Just for the fact that you need those 3 yards. And look what happened. Because Norris kept fighting, got a face mask. And the big red crowd doesn't like it at all. They're screaming, go back to school. Huh. Officiating, not an easy job in any sport. In football, most of the time, it's the hardest to call from a sense of what pass interference is. What do you give a corner? What do you give a wide out? Cornerbacks really don't get much. And that, I think, is the single hardest area of officiating in football. But obviously, the greater the crowd, the more you're going to have people yelling at you, like we just heard, go back to school and all the rest of it. But it's not an easy job officiating, that's for sure. So credit goes out to the officials. I don't have their names tonight, and I really should. Anyway, again, bigdsports.info. I'm going to blog about this game. bigdsports.info. I'm golfing in the morning and then Notre Dame, Michigan, but I'll find the time to do that. I got to write up about a great game played by both teams. Again, email. You can email me, DerekTheBigD@simpatico.ca or Derek's Red Wings @hotmail.com. Tell me what you think of the game we saw tonight, or even what you think of the Big D, dare I say it. positive or negative. I love it. I love hearing from this. It's great. Great atmosphere here tonight, too. And it continues now. 4th and 1. Norris. Close, but he got it. Well, this Norris fights for yards. He's the kind of kid that refuses to go down. And there's a spot for a kid on a team that will fight. Because this is not a game for nice guys. It's a game for aggressive guys that'll fight for anything. And he does. He's the one who kept that drive going. Fake this time, back to pass, good protection, airing it out. Tyler Smith, caught. Nice job to the 40. 23, Julian Brown, the tackle for the Big Reds. Again, this is CPHS Channel 6 for continued updates on community events, the community billboard, and continued programming. CPHS Channel 6, 810-984-6621. 984-6621. Play fake to Norris, but he goes down immediately. Big Reds, yet another sack. Half sack to 79, Richard Drummond, and 13 as well, Mike LaForge. So 3.5 to go in the 4th. It's all over now but the presentation. Davis sends the man in motion. That is Cootie again. Out in the flat, this time Tyler Smith. And he's had a real good game offensively, and that's why I gave him Offensive Player of the Game for the Huskies. He has their one big play, but besides that, he's had over the middle yards. He's had outside yards, like we saw right there. So he's had a good game tonight. And I see more passing in this offense, and that's a good thing. I've challenged them week after week to open up the playbook, and they have today. Norris, spin move down past the 30 to the 29. And this Norris does not look to me like a guy who should be 100% of the time backing up players. He's got some moves. He is just a junior. So he'll be back next year, and that's a good thing, because the way he's running, it looks like he deserves some playing time. If you're wondering too, both quarterbacks out of this game, Justin Black and Mark Perez. Instead, we've got both backups in there now. I believe due to injury on both sides, although I'm not sure about Perez. It's a pitch back. That's a live football, but was he past the line of scrimmage? That's the question. I don't think he was. It was a live football, so basically considered a fumble, and where they pitched it back is where it's down. All right, makes sense. 26 is where they'll mark it. Under 3 to go now. 2nd down and 6. Late instructions from Coach Kuchera. Man in motion is Johnsmore. It's a fake pitch to Johnsmore. Big Reds have it defended well. Outside pass, throws end zone, no. Batted down, and a nice job by 2 defenders, 22 among them. Lorenzo Tanner as well, Taj King. Just a little bit higher, Matt Davis, and you had 6. Certainly a strong defensive play. Big Reds really had that played well defensively, because they had the pass rush going to the area that Davis rolled out to as well. And of course, good pass coverage. Back to pass again. Davis airing this one out again. Wide open Johnsmore, but it's overthrown. And he's had a couple there tonight. That one, and I believe another one that was overthrown to him, where if he catches it, 6 points both times. That's the thing. These Huskies, as much as they're down 21 here tonight, there's been some drop balls. There's been some open flies where if they catch the ball, they're right back in this game. But then again, the Big Reds have not used their number one weapon, Foster, basically all second half. And he did all the damage in the first, him and Black. And again, we'll cross our fingers on Black's status for next week. Play action again. Good pass protection this time. Now it comes late, he rolls out, tries to cut upfield, battling forward. He's close, but I don't think he quite got it. And if he didn't, that's going to be it. No, he didn't. Big Red's coming out. So they'll probably just run the football out now. Huskies, if you're wondering, no timeouts left. Big Reds all three. They don't need him, though, with 2:36 remaining. Here it is. We'll see how close he got. I like the effort to keep fighting for yards. That is, of course, the quarterback, though, and that's can be dangerous. Of course, in that situation, you're battling hard for a first down. So the Big Reds are going to walk away with yet another Brick Fowler trophy. And it really means a lot to them. But this is something that the Huskies have got to forget and move on to next week. They're in Chippewa Valley, and that is never an easy place to play when you consider Mac Red talent. This is a year that Chippewa Valley, you can beat them though. As far as I know, they're not as talented as they've been in the past. And there used to be times where Chippewa Valley would come in here and just wreck the place, if you know what I'm saying. I really think that after the Big Reds here at Memorial Stadium upset Utica Eisenhower here a few years ago, which was supposed to be a Friday night game, bad weather turned it into a Saturday afternoon game, and the Big Reds pulled the upset. I think ever since then, you never really say automatically that the Mac Red's going to come in here and win. And I credit the Big Reds a lot for doing that. There was a few upsets that year the Big Reds pulled, and I was calling Memorial Stadium the upset stadium of the state, but they're going to have a chance at Macomb, Dakota next week. And it's all going to depend on, can they sustain what they've done here with Black and Foster offensively for one quarter or one half for an entire four-quarter game. That's going to be a big key. And obviously, again, how well the Huskies move the football offensively in Chippewa Valley is their big key next week, besides the fact that we all expect a great defensive showing from them. Again, it's not that the Husky defense is playing bad. It's just hard to defend against a passing offense like this one for four quarters. And particularly when you also have a great running back in Titus, a quarterback in Black who can run, pass on the run. It enables you to have really an open playbook for anything you want. That's hard to defend, especially today in spread offenses and more run and gun looks. That's where football is going. I say that, and yet Big Reds line up in the smash mouth I formation, so. Minute 40 to go now in this one. So, great game, both sides, for much of the game. Great game offensively, Big Reds. Awesome shoes, 41 Nathan Babcock. Those things are great. And just a well-played game. That first half was as entertaining a rivalry game as I've seen. And Justin Black is on the sidelines in crutches. So that is not good news for the Big Reds at all. Off the snap, bobbled ball. So this is a Big D crossing his fingers up here in the booth for Justin Black. Without him, it's just not the same team. Well, they're happy now and they're cheering now. And why not? The final 30 seconds. They've contained themselves this much, but it's hard to do. Brick Fowler You're staying in Port Huron. And PHHS is going to throw a crazy, crazy party tonight. Final 10 seconds. I formation look again. Here's the handoff. And that's going to be it. Well, they stopped the clock, though. Well, usually this is it. Well, turnover on downs, okay, it makes sense. I'm sleeping. So this, by all means, is likely going to be the last play of the game. The Huskies are going to come out for one more offensive play, but they have no timeouts to stop the clock. So it's not like they can do a pass and then that's it. Maybe get a timeout. They can't do it, so this is it. Big Red fans still cheering. But the Huskies, again, nothing to really be ashamed about, especially offensively, where I have challenged them for a long, long time. They answered the big D tonight. They put points on the scoreboard, and my hat's off to the Huskies offense. There you go. Because I like what they've done, and not to take anything away from Mark Perez, but if he is hurt, it's nice to know that Matt Davis is an adequate backup for him. Well, that's it from Memorial Stadium. The Big Reds celebrating. Huskies not so happy. The final score in the Super Bowl of Port Huron, the rivalry of Port Huron, the Battle of Port Huron. Big Reds 49, Huskies 28. For the entire staff of CPHS Channel 6, this has been Derek Wark, the Big D, where it has now become tradition. I can say to all of you from PHHS, polish off your man, Orion Mullins. The Brick Fowler Trophy stays in Port Huron.
Both teams line up on the 40-yard lines for the presentation of the Brick Fowler Award. Both teams please line up on the 40-yard line. This time, Mr. Ron Moline, Port Huron Area School District Assistant Superintendent. Please present the trophy to the winning coach.